you have it. You have been watching former President Donald Trump. We thank you for joining us here at 10 o'clock. The former president, in a very long speech, about an hour and a half at the podium there. Many expecting a changed man. We did hear a lot of the same things we've heard from years, though, from President Trump there as he makes his first public appearance and first words since the assassination attempt against him on Saturday.
That's right. You just said on the stage for about an hour and a half, took the stage at 8:30 our time. The former president gladly accepting the Republican nomination for president and giving a very detailed account of that attempt on his life on Saturday. Tonight's remarks were heavily anticipated and could set the tone for the current and future political climate. Fox 31's Gabby Easterwood spoke with a political expert about his speech and joins us in studio to explain. Gabby.
Yeah, Jeremy and Talia, Trump came to the podium tonight first saying that his message was one of confidence and hope and thanking Americans for their support after Saturday's assassination attempt. Beforehand, though, that political expert that we spoke to on how she says that there were more eyes on Trump tonight than normally would have been, who wouldn't have watched an acceptance speech at RNC to see how this assassination attempt has impacted him. And if now he's a candidate that can spark and speak across party lines.
A call for national unity as former President Donald Trump formally accepted his party's presidential nomination tonight for the third time.
Division in our society must be healed. We must heal it quickly. With faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
An acceptance just days after his assassination attempt, making tonight closely watched and highly anticipated.
For you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God. Despite such a heinous attack, we unite this evening more determined than ever. I am more determined than ever.
Trump saying ahead of tonight he rewrote his speech after Saturday's gunfire.
Gives Trump a really good moment to show stability, a united party, a united front, and a party that wants to unify the country.
CU Boulder political experts say many were wondering whether there would be a change in his tone tonight with sway voters' eyes on him.
This is a moment where he's got attention from a lot of the voters that he most needs in the fall. Is he now somebody that people who rejected him before can he say enough to get them to take a second look?
Meanwhile, Trump's strong, unified image presented during his remarks, coming at a time when there's uncertainty about his opponent, his health, and whether he'll be on the ticket at all, potentially opening up this race more.
No matter what obstacle comes our way, we will not break, we will not bend, we will not back down, and I will never stop fighting for you, your family, and our magnificent country.
Now, that political expert went on to say that she feels even with that softer tone at the beginning of his speech and talks of unity, she's not sure that the speech as a whole was one that would sway undecided voters, because she says there was too much of an emphasis and a larger focus on his grievances and challenges and a lot of his speech, speaking about things he's spoken about in the past many times. Live in studio, Gabby Easterwood, Fox 31.
Gabby, thank you. Much more coverage at KDVR.com.